You remember Tom and Jerry, right? Of course you do. That classic cat and mouse chase, it's probably burned into your brain from childhood. But what if I told you there's a scene, just one scene, hidden in a classic episode that is so unbelievably dark, it changes everything? Well, we're going to take a closer look. So, our whole investigation really boils down to this one question. It all starts in this super creepy place you'd never expect to see in a kid's cartoon, a cat graveyard. Why is this even here? And what in the world is it trying to tell us? So picture this. Tom is all by himself in this gloomy, spooky graveyard, and he's just surrounded by tombstones. But here's the thing, these aren't just random props. Every single headstone has a name on it, and the names are really specific. This is where it gets weird. It makes you wonder, right? Who are all these cats?
All right, let's put on our detective hats and start digging into the clues, one tombstone at a time. Because I'm telling you, each one of these graves is a piece of a much bigger and, frankly, a much darker puzzle.
Okay, first up, we find a tombstone for a cat named Binks. Now, for any animation nerds out there, this is a real deep cut. Binks was a cartoon cat from Warner Brothers, a rival studio. So right off the bat, they're putting a competitor's character in a grave. That's a pretty wild and kind of eerie nod to cartoon history.
The next grave we see belongs to Pete. Now, if you're a serious Tom and Jerry fan, that name might sound familiar. Pete was a cat who actually showed up in a few different episodes. So see what they're doing? They're not just referencing other studios, they're burying characters from their own show.
And then there's the third grave for a cat named Tabby. What's so interesting about this one is that Tabby was actually Tom's friend. He was this shy little cat who was brought in to help Tom catch Jerry in one episode. So now we've got an ally buried here. It's getting stranger. And grave number 4 belongs to someone we all know, Butch. You know, the tough black alley cat who was always one of Tom's main rivals. They were constantly at each other's throats. So you have a friend and an enemy, both buried in the same spot. But trust me, that's not even the most unsettling part.
And that brings us to the last clue, the most sinister one of all. Because this part isn't about who's in a grave, it's about who isn't yet.
So we've got 4 cats, all with some connection to Tom or cartoon history. But if you look really close, you'll see it. Right there among all the tombstones is one open, empty grave, just waiting. And that leads to the biggest question of all. Who was that for? You ready for this? This is the twist that changes the whole scene. That empty grave, dug and waiting, it was meant for Tom. For our guy, Tom himself. All the other tombstones were basically just setting the stage for his own doom.
So you gotta ask, who would do something this twisted? Who set up this entire creepy scene? Well, the episode actually tells us it was the evil witch. This wasn't just some random spooky background. No, this was a direct, personal threat aimed right at Tom.
So let's just recap the whole chilling roster. You've got Binks, the rival studio cat, Pete, a character from the show, Tabby, a former ally, and Butch, a major rival. And then, the final spot reserved for Tom, the intended victim. When you lay it all out like that, it's a seriously grim picture. And all of this just leaves you with one final, kind of unsettling thought. If something this dark could be hidden in a single scene of Tom and Jerry, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other secrets are hiding right there in plain sight in the shows we grew up loving? What else have we missed?